Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Blair Abee. He's an author, poet, educator, and consultant, and an ordinary mystic, as he calls himself. Welcome to the show, Blair.
Thank you, AJ. Happy to be here. Looking forward to this conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are welcome to the show. You are welcome to India in this online form, and I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we'll be talking about. We'll talk about meditation and mindfulness. So, my first question, or to understand for the audience, Blair, is what got you interested into meditation? In India, we talk about a lot about meditation, and so I'm curious to know for the audience what got you interested into meditation.
Yes. Oh, many years ago, actually in 1972, 73, I took a yoga class from a fellow whose name you might know, a fellow by the name of Swami Satchidananda. He's the person who introduced Woodstock. And I began a meditation class, a yoga class, which always ended with a meditation. And I've really been doing yoga and meditation ever since. But it wasn't really until about 8 years ago that I had something of a breakthrough in my meditation practice. And as is often the case, I think, it was caused by a traumatic event or a traumatic experience in which I took a large promotion in the consulting business that I was in, moved across the country, only to find out that my boss was something of a psychopath, abusing employees, mishandling funds, running the program into the ground. And after a year, I just had enough of it. I went to the authorities. I let them know what was going on. An investigation was done. She was fired, but they fired me too. They said I was a troublemaker, which really meant that I was making trouble for them by exposing the problem. As a result, I did a deep dive into my meditation practice for therapy and for healing, and began to have an experience of higher consciousness in a way that I never had before. As I journaled, as I wrote, I could sort of feel spirit flowing through my fingers right onto the keyboard. It was really an astonishing experience, and it was for myself. But after doing that, after about 100,000 words, I realized I had material and information that I thought other people could benefit from. And that was really the basis for the 6 books that I've written, several more that are in the works, on the subject of meditation and mindfulness and manifestation and subjects of that sort. So that was really the journey, if you will, that I've been on that led me to today's conversation and to having a real sense of soul contact, if you will, these days that is very, what can I say, unusual, but available to everyone who is interested in seeking for that type of experience.
Right, Blair, right. You talked about, higher self, a sense of higher self. Help us understand what did you feel? What is higher self, or feeling yourself into that in that zone, so that people can actually, obviously they will have to do it for themselves,
Yes.
but can actually know what this is all about, and how can they uh, know about all these things,
Yes.
experience all these things. What is the best way for them to do so? Maybe through your feelings they will know what exactly it looks like to be there. Yeah.
Um, I think we all know that we have a soul or a higher consciousness. And as I talk to people about this, there's a recognition that this is the case for really for all of us. Our master teachers, Jesus and Krishna and Buddha and all of our master teachers have really said fundamentally the same thing. That is that higher consciousness or Christ consciousness or Krishna consciousness lies inside of us. The kingdom of heaven is inside of us and available, but as three-dimensional beings, as human beings, we're not taught for the most part about this part of ourselves, primarily because our teachers don't know, our parents don't know, our spiritual folks often don't know. And so we're not exposed to the idea of each of us being eternal beings, having a higher consciousness, and that higher consciousness or soul is wanting um, to be a part of our lives and to be even a guide or to be a friend or to be a companion and to smooth the places before us as we go through life. So what I found is that the most direct route to that experience of higher consciousness is meditation, because meditation quietens the mind enough for that higher part of us to come through. It's kind of like what I was doing with my journaling. I would get quiet enough, and as I wrote, I could feel that part of me just kind of coming through my fingertips and onto the screen as I wrote first for therapy and then for doing the books that I've done. So it's an exhilarating feeling. It's a feeling of, oh gosh, it's a feeling of illumination. It's a feeling of elevation of consciousness. Um, and like I said, I think all of us have that within us, but unless we pursue that, unless we find that of some interest, unless we pursue it, it's dormant, but it becomes active in the process of pursuing it with some spiritual practice that puts us in touch with that part of ourselves.
Right, right, Blair. So, what does one's higher self want from the self, or want or give to, want from others or give to others? Have you come across that feeling during that whole achievement of higher self, or while thinking about it?
The
Does
desire
it?
to share it with others.
Right, right. And does it also talk about, you feel about
The,
forgiveness or
um,
revenge? How does it feel? Because you have been
yes,
there. Not
right.
everybody will be able to go there. They will do it in their own way. That is why I'm curious to understand
Yes,
your understanding of this.
right. I understand. Um, well, I think the meditation and the contact with soul or higher consciousness, one of the things that does is to raise your vibratory rate and to put you in a state of greater awareness. And with that comes qualities like love and empathy, but also for healing of others around us and even the world. Um, one of the mindfulness practices that I use is um, a recitation of three words: elevate, as in elevate awareness; um, illuminate, as in illuminate consciousness; and radiate, as in radiating that experience of higher consciousness out to my world. Now, starting with my immediate world, the people and things in my immediate world, but also a radiating of that light of oneness out into the world and the universe, a oneness that where the experience is a sense of contact with the all, with omnipresence, and that naturally wants to express itself in a way that lifts me up personally, but lifts us all up. So I kind of feel like what I'm doing is throwing a pebble into the pond, and it's sort of rippling out, into my immediate surroundings and my world and my universe. The little bit that I have to offer to the collective.
Right, right. Well put, Blair. Now, how did you uh, put all this understanding of yours into not one but six different books? Tell us
Yes,
about that.
right.
And what did you discuss? This is such a vast
Oh, it is.
amount of knowledge, and to put it in words, to put it for others,
Yes.
it needs a lot of great understanding of things, great blessings of the Almighty to to put those things into words for others. How did you do that? Not one but six books.
Yes. Well, as I said, I was journaling. At this point, I probably have written 400,000 words in my journal, um, and that's what has comprised given me the raw material, if you will, to develop the books that I have. So I have one book on the benefits of meditation, which goes into the scientific research that's done on meditation. Then I've got the meditation book, which is on a sit-down meditation practice and issues related to that. One on mindfulness, and then one on manifestation in using different processes and tools, if you will. And I kind of see myself as a tool maker. So my books really offer tools that people who are interested in these things can utilize for themselves. And I also have, classes and workshops. I have an email list that people can join. And I share my experience on an ongoing basis. But the the desire really to put all that information in writing. I never thought of myself as an author, but given what I was given, I wanted to share it, and that's basically the fundamental impulse that's resulted in the six books
Right,
that I have.
right. Absolutely, Blair. How did you, discuss about meditation and mindfulness uh, individually or together? How are these two things almost the same or
Yes.
also different? How did you talk about that?
Well, they're similar, but not necessarily the same. I see meditation and the meditation practice that I offer in my book as being a meditation practice that involves sitting down, um, or being in a a yoga posture or sit down, sitting on a chair, and doing a process, sort of step by step, that leads you to a sense of higher consciousness. So I do that in the morning and I do that in the evening. Now, during the day, I use mindfulness practices, which for me is a remembrance of spiritual phraseology, phrases, if you will. So, peace, be still, is one of the mindfulness practices that I use throughout the day. Or saying, as I mentioned earlier, elevate, illuminate, radiate. Just takes a second, just to remind yourself of to look within and to live life from within our consciousness. So these are tricks, tips, triggers to remember, to allow yourself to elevate into that state of consciousness from which one can live one life in a peaceful and meditative and alert and alive sort of way. So they both have similar outcomes, but they're different tools, from my perspective, that one can use in order to elevate consciousness and in order to be to live life in a way that is able to negotiate life and create a life that is desirable and creative, and how can I say it? A life of service and of spiritual practice.
Absolutely, Blair. Let me ask you one more. In today's time, especially, a lot of people, especially young generation, they have this word called YOLO. You only live once. A lot of other people also, they talk
Yes.
about you live once. So consume as much as possible because you will never come onto this earth
Yes.
again. So they don't care about anything. They don't care about people. They don't talk about the next generation. They don't care about the planet. They don't care about so many things. It's all about me, consume, consume, consume.
Yes.
And the other aspect is make use of this life. You only live once. At the same time, in this backdrop, when a lot of people believe this across the world, in this, you talk about that we are all eternal beings. What would you like to tell people about eternal beings part? And especially to those people who believe that it's only one time we are on earth and will never be here again.
I think what I can say about that is that we're all indoctrinated from the very beginning of our lives into three-dimensional reality. And in three-dimensional reality, the common wisdom is that you only live once. The common wisdom is that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and you have to protect yourself, and you have to do whatever you have to do in order to survive and to thrive. And if you're fortunate enough to have lots of things, to take advantage of that and to sort of shoot the moon, if you will, on this life. All I can say is that if that perhaps someday in some lifetime, all of us are going to wake up. All of us are going to wake up to our higher consciousness, to our eternal beingness. Now, maybe not in this lifetime. So if somebody has no interest in such things, there's nothing really that I can say other than there may come a time when you have trauma. There may come a time when there's a part of you in your heart begins to yearn for something more than just all the trappings of the baubles, if you will, of the world, and to want to explore um, something bigger, better, more magnificent, and of the same sort of content, if you will, that our master teachers were pointing us in the direction of. So everybody's going to wake up when they wake up. Um, it, but I think that's really my fundamental message. The opportunity is always there to begin to wake up beyond me, to us, to oneness, to a sense of splendor, and that's available at any time you want to turn in that direction.
Absolutely. Whenever you want to turn in that direction. And for that you need to, learn a lot. A lot of people who want to learn a lot from you, what is the best way for them to do, Blair? And those people who want to take advanced lessons, your understanding of meditation system, learn from your books, how do they do that?
Yes, yes. Well, my books are at Amazon Books. So if you go to Amazon Books, Blair Abee, the meditation book, you'll find the whole series of books available, either in ebook form or in paperback book form. Also, if people go to my website, which is hicmeditation.com, that's HIC I offer a free copy of my mindfulness book, and people can get a chance to get a free publication that they can look at and see if this is something that they are interested in, and if they want to follow this. Also, you can sign up for my newsletter, for my community of people who are interested in such things, and I send out twice a month a blog post discussing some aspect of my knowledge, my understanding, and my ongoing process. It's kind of fun because you get a chance to get a little peek into my world, and I share that with everybody who's on the email list. So, copy of mindfulness book, to go to my website, hicmeditation.com, and I'm sure you'll put that in the show notes.
Yes, absolutely.
The link to that, and take advantage of the other services, the classes, and so forth that I have to offer.
Wonderful, wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.